Your husband is at a crossroads in his career. He's competing for promotion against two rivals. To get the edge, you have wisely decided to invite the boss and his wife to a 7 o'clock dinner. Then surprise, it's 6:15, and your husband's called to say that Smith, Jones, and their wives have been invited at the boss's request. Ever the wealthy girl, you keep your cool and understand that the boss is probably testing you as much as your husband. What next?
This scene from Mona Lisa Smile, a 2003 American drama set in 1953, shows the character of Nancy, who teaches an etiquette class instructing the women of Wellesley College on how to graciously adapt to a changing environment. And in this case, the changing environment is a dinner to host your husband's boss that just ballooned from a dinner for 4 to a dinner for 8 at the demand of his superior.
That the boss is probably testing you as much as your husband. What next?
And watching this scene recently reminded me of how common it was to see this situation in shows set in the 1950s and early 60s, where a wife's performance, we'll call it, in situations like this had direct impacts on the growth and success of her husband's career.
It's not a joke. A few years from now, your sole responsibility will be taking care of your husband and children. The grade that matters the most is the one he gives you, not me.
Now, of course, we all know that even today, still having a supporting spouse in the background cultivates an environment which allows men to excel in their careers. Having someone who does all of life's administrative work, like scheduling doctor's appointments, bookkeeping, household budgeting, cooking, child rearing, keeping a clean house, clears the path for the other partner to focus more on their career without needing to worry about the rest of that extra stuff. The impact of a woman's work today is more obscure, it's concealed. But as shown in those nostalgic TV dramas from the 50s, those soft and technical skills a woman carried had a more forthright correlation with how her husband moved up the career ladder.
Chin chin.
Cheers. Well, please eat before it gets cold.
So, allow me.
A similar, more humorous example of this dynamic is seen in WandaVision episode 1, where Mr. and Mrs. Hart, Mr. Hart being Vision's boss, comes to dinner. And Wanda, thinking that the heart that marked their calendar was for their anniversary and not the hearts, Vision's boss and his boss's wife, leaving her to have to scramble to host an appropriate and respectable evening for the unexpected guest. And I couldn't find a clip of it, but during this episode, Mr. Hart, Vision's boss, at the onset of the initial chaos at the start of the evening, alludes to the fact that because Vision's house was just so out of order, that would have a direct impact on his career. Also, earlier in the episode, one of Vision's colleagues, Jones, was fired because his wife, Dottie, failed to impress his boss. This would be such a ridiculous notion today, right?
The wife thought 5 courses would be sufficient.
Wanda does impress Vision's boss.
You made me proud tonight, son. First thing Monday morning, you and me are going to have a little chat. We'll see about that promotion, huh?
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Averting the total downfall and collapse of his career. Woman saves the day again. The problem with this dynamic or trope is that it directly blames women for the lack of progress in a man's career, when it's his career. And yeah, I'm aware that the partner you choose in life can indirectly have negative or positive impacts on how you perform at work. For example, if you're in a relationship with someone who causes a lot of unnecessary drama, that can definitely alter one's ability to perform. But this was about something else. In the case of Vision, his boss is looking to be charmed, he's looking to be entertained, and he's also looking to see, did you pick the right spouse? Do you have control of your house? He's looking to see if Vision can lead.
You keep your cool and understand that the boss is probably testing you as much as your husband.
In this scene from Mad Men Season 1, Episode 7, the boss shows up for dinner scenario appears again.
Betty, this steak?
Although this is slightly different, as Roger Sterling, partner at ad agency Sterling Cooper, already knows Don Draper's value to the company. And it's highly doubtful that a bad dinner due to Betty's inability to cook a steak would mean impending doom for his career. It still highlights a pecking order of sorts between the boss and his subordinate. I'm above you, I provide your paycheck, I own you, and since your wife is an extension of you, I have access to your wife too.
Roger.
I can't believe you've had 2 babies. You smell so good.
I can make more coffee.
Although Roger and Don are friends, Roger at this point in the series is still Don's boss. And he makes a pass at his wife Betty while Don is out getting wine.
I just want you to know that when I go to sleep tonight, I will be thinking all about you.
When Don returns, noticing some discomfort in the air, unable to throw the heat at Roger as he should have, he sends it Betty's way.
What was that?
Nothing happened, Don, other than your drunk boss ruining our evening.
Are we seeing the trend of let's blame women here? I don't advance in my own career, it's my wife's fault. If my boss hits on my wife, it's my wife's fault. The thing is, Don knows Roger is a womanizer and obviously drunk, but is too cowardly to challenge his boss, the man that he begged for a job.
Can I give you a call? First of all, you need 20 of those. And second of all, no. I just want you to call that number so I can give you some very specific delivery instructions.
Of course, Mr. Sterling.
So he shifts the blame to Betty.
You made a fool of yourself. You were throwing yourself at him, giggling at his stories.
I was being friendly. He's your boss.
I don't like to be treated that way in my own home.
There's a very popular saying that I've seen mostly used by women, that behind every great man, there's a great woman. And I read that this slogan gained popularity in the 1960s and 70s during the feminist movement. But the first printed citation of that saying came from Meryl Frost, a World War II veteran and Dartmouth football star. There have also been many adaptations of the slogan as well, which comedically downplay its and thus a woman's importance, like behind every great man, there's a woman rolling her eyes. Or behind every great man is a great woman, and behind every great woman is a great behind. But more seriously, the essence of the phrase captures all of the unpaid labor and parlor tricks that women had to perform to advance their husbands. And spoiler alert, most of the time, he still takes all the credit.
A good wife lets her husband think that everything's his idea, even when it's not.
But I don't care if he reads it.
You will in retrospect.
And this is likely why. Now, although this line is pulled from a drama set in 1953, this school of thought is still very much prevalent today. How often have wives heard, he's the head and you're the neck?
The man is the head, but the woman is the neck. And she can turn the head any way she wants.
Nothing will get done without the subtle manipulation of that man. And in Mona Lisa Smile, the mother of Elizabeth Betty Warren instills this idea in her daughter before she marries. And yet, in all of Betty's cleverness, that still didn't stop her husband Spencer from cheating. Okay, he was cheating because she was a bitch, but you know what I mean. This idea of letting men or tricking men into thinking that things are their idea will get you nothing but a man with an even more inflated ego.
I have your answer. Tula will go to the travel agency and you send Nikki here to work for us.
I can't believe that.
See, a man?
Yes. You're so smart. Gus.
But that's all I have for now. I absolutely love shows from different time periods. Since TV often reflects reality, these shows and movies give great glimpses and insights into how relationship dynamics have evolved over time. What are your thoughts on today's topic? Don't forget to like the video, share with your friends and family, and subscribe if you haven't already. Signing off now, your friend, Dom.